Good morning. Grandma Lois is back. You know what? I took Sunday off yesterday and just relaxed. And today I have been as busy as a bee. I have been grocery. Would you believe number 3 took me to the Walmart to grocery shop? Yes, he did. Anyhow, I have my coffee and I'm going to treat my feet. I'll get that started in a minute. But until then, I thought I'd just visit with y'all. We had a lovely day yesterday. Nice and rainy. It was a good nap day, which we took advantage of. Isn't this beautiful behind me? It reminds me of the creeks we had in Smith Holler and Mink Holler down in the Appalachia country where I was raised until I was 10 years old. The mountains are beautiful. The creeks are beautiful. And I fell face down in one time over at Smith Holler. And my Aunt Mary was with me when it happened. And we was wading in it. And I stepped on a slippery rock or something. But I went face down. And I just laid there stunned. And Mary dragged me out. And I was sputtering. And it's funny, but you know when kids fall or get underwater. I mean, I was only like 5 or 6 years old. And she dragged me out and took me home. My hair was all wet. It was awful. Straight as a stick hair. She said, well, your hair is wet, let's just curl it. So she put it on curlers. I'm going to put this back over there. I'm going to tell you this first. I just read it a while ago, and boy, did I need it today. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. So I'm going to tell you what's been going on. I mean, it's been cold here, and the heater went out. So I've said, now, you're not going to worry about it. James will get it fixed. Just wear your warm clothes. And that's what you do. That's what we did on the farm. You wore your warm clothes all the time. And I decided I wasn't going to be anxious about it. I decided to do like Joel Osteen's mother. She prayed about everything. And y'all know I do too. So I asked the Lord if he would just heal that and let the heat come back on, because it was running a week or so ago, you know. It's a 2003 Odyssey Honda. Well, all of a sudden I thought to myself, you know, I've had a lot of cars in my time, and the heat did go out in one I had. And what was the matter with it? I remembered the thermostat in the radiator. I don't know much about it, but my young man, Dave Clemens, he fixed it for me. You take the radio, James says, Google it. Well, that's what I'm going to do a little later. But right now, I'm going to treat my feet. Y'all excuse me. I'm going to get my stuff. See this right here? This is my rebuilder. See that up close. Now this is what keeps me walking when I'm 91. I paid like $500 for this thing. It's like a tens machine, but it's better than a tens machine. And you take these little things here, and you just put them on the bottom of your feet, one on each, and turn this on and let it run for 30 minutes, and it works great. So I am cooking a brisket today. And guess what else happened? When I cook briskets, I put them in the Ninja Foodie, because you can do it in 90 minutes. Whereas if you put it in an oven, I got briskets on sale at Myers. Put them in the freezer, half price. I mean, I got almost a 3-pound brisket for $6. And that is really good meat. Me and James like brisket. So what did I do this morning? James says, honey, do you want me to take you grocery shopping out to Walmart? Because we have had a close friend and a worker that used to work for us pass away, 69 years old. And his visitation is today. And we're going to do that. And then tomorrow is the funeral. And that's James's secretary's brother. So today she's off. Now, where was I don't know. But anyway, it'll come back to me. Oh, yes. James took me grocery shopping, and so I bought cabbage, because I want cabbage to go with I bought 2 cabbages, one that I can make slaw with if I want to. And I went off and left them at the Walmart. I left them on the counter. Well, it so happens that one of my friends, who I make friends with all of them out there, the cashiers and the checkout ladies that help you, she helped me weigh my cabbages. So I know I got them. So when we got home, James bought in the groceries here. What a blessing. I was so thankful this morning because kiddos, I bought groceries. I needed them. I hadn't been in a while. Now let me think on what I'm doing. Oh yes, I got to take my not pantyhose, but knee highs off. I wear knee highs all the time, and they're handy under jeans. But, oh yeah, where was I? We're doing table talk this morning. Somebody said the other day, talking with you is like doing table talk. We just all sit around and talk. So y'all just sit around, get your coffee. Where's mine? Right here. I need a sip. I need some caffeine. I think I am addicted to McDonald's coffee, but I get it cheap, 63 cents. If you're 55 years old, you can get the senior coffee. So I'm getting my my hose off, and I'm going to stick these on the bottom of my feet, and I'm going to do it. So what did I do? I forgot the cabbages. When we got home, I said, James, you didn't bring in, I bought 2 cabbages and they're not here. He carried everything in. That's the blessing. That's a lot of steps. I need the exercise, and he does too. So he said, well, have you got the receipt? He said, well, it was only like $5. He said, how much were they? And I said, around $5. He said, forget it. I said, are you kidding? I gotta have my cabbages if I'm gonna make a brisket and some slaw. And so I said, I tell you what, I know they're out there. So after I fix your breakfast and my breakfast, which I did, I said, I'll run out and rescue the cabbages. So after we got I made him, I had some pancakes in the refrigerator already cooked, ready. So I cooked him sausage, egg, and pancakes. And you know what, we're cheap. When we go to the Waffle House, oh no, not the Waffle House. No, not that one. But anyhow, they give you a couple of syrups with your, let's see. I tell you what, I'm getting glitches sometimes. But a couple of syrups, I just saved them, brought them in. He used them on his pancakes, and then I fried him an egg and a couple of sausages. He had a wonderful breakfast. And I had some ham left over, and I made me a ham sandwich for breakfast. I'll eat anything for breakfast. But he likes regular breakfast like oatmeal, or I can't get my other knee high off very good. I'll get it in a minute. Hang on. I just laugh at myself. You know, everybody needs a sense of humor. And that's one thing I like about James. He's got a sense of humor. I told him this morning, I talk to him all the time when I'm with him, but he's working today. He went to Sellersburg. I haven't been back out there since I took those other pictures. And he has cut bushes. I know there's a big change going on from what he tells me, but it's been raining now for days, and it's still raining today. So him and another, Gary, is going to go out and work inside and do some things. They add electric plugs, and they're going to make put a wall in, make another bedroom, so it'll have more room. Now I got to turn this on. I think I got a good battery in it. Yep, there it goes, vibrating. And so I got it on a little thing, and I'm vibrating my feet now. So anyway, where's my coffee? Oh, I catch my breath and slow down like Granny Pat. She just takes her time, and I get in too big a hurry. And I don't know why that is. I'm not in that big a hurry. Of course, I was running around like a busy bee, and oh yes. As I said to James as we was on our way to the Y, there is a motorhome, drive motorhome, and it's one of them square front ones. It's ancient, it's old, and it's been there for years. I don't know if they take it anywhere or not, but once upon a time, Now, here's one of these stories, California stories. When Buddy got out of the Navy, he we moved to a place called Cupertino, California. And he got a job in a bakery because he had experience in bakeries. And it paid nothing hardly. And we rented a little place that was just terrible. And the babies had to sleep in the playpen. But my mother-in-law, Buddy's mom, had a sister that lived there in Cupertino. And so I said, good, family. So I went over to see her, you know. Her sister, my mother-in-law, Mama, wrote her all the time, so I had her address. So I just went over and introduced myself and told her, look, I'm family, and it is just so nice that you live here because we can visit each other and have tea together. She looked at me and she said, who are you? I said, well, I'm Belle, your sister's son, wife. And he was in the Navy, and we're out now, and we're living here, and we got a little apartment, and he got a job at a bakery, and so we're going to be living in California. She said, well, I don't know about that. She said, you know what? I said, well, we want to be friends. And she said, no, I don't. And that's the truth. She said, no, I don't. She said, I do not want to get fond of you. I really don't. So we won't be visiting. I said, yes, we will. I will be coming to see you. I'm a go-getting woman. She ain't gonna turn me down. And I was about 21 years old then, maybe 22. Oh, maybe 23. I don't know. The twins were about, they were almost 2 years old, I think. I think they were potty trained. You know, little girls potty train a lot sooner than little boys. I did both. Potty trained. That's an important thing, mothers. Teach them to use that potty, boy. That saves on that diaper bill. And especially when you're using cloth diapers like I used to have to use. Well, it says the rain is stopping soon. That just came up on my iPad. Praise the Lord. But I tell you what, my tomatoes have been watered. I have not had to water them one day, but now I bet you I'll have to start on them. Be anxious for nothing. Don't worry about it. That is the best verse. And I'm just going to pray that the Lord waters them and I won't have to that much. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah, Aunt Flossie and her husband lived there, and he worked, and she had 2 sons. And I would visit her anyway. And she was nice when I did, you know, and she didn't want to, but we made friends. And she did get fond of me, and I got fond of her. And I said, we're going to stay in California. Well, the longer we stayed there, the more we hated it. I did not like that climate. I didn't like anything about it except Aunt Flossie and her husband and her 2 little boys, which were like 12 and 14. And there was mountains right behind her. And her 14-year-old loved to go spend the day in them mountains and camp out. It was wild. I mean, there was animals back there and everything. And he was a woodsman, and there was woods, and he would go and camp, and she let him. He was 14 years old. But now the 12-year-old boy was rambunctious, and I would be there sometimes. Buddy worked at a bakery, so I would go over and spend some time with her of an evening, and it was time to get Louis, that was his name, to get his shower and get him to bed, because boys don't want to go to bed, they don't want to take a bath. So she would put him in the shower, and the water would run and run, and he would come out and he'd say, okay, and he would be as dirty in the face as he was when he went in. You know what she did one time I was there? Here he was 12 years old. She went in there with him with a wash rag, stuck him in the shower again, and washed him down good. I bet he didn't do that anymore. I don't know. She didn't tell me, and I didn't ask her. But Louis learned to take a shower without his mommy's help. Think how old they would be now. They may not even be alive. You think how long has that been? That was probably in 1955 or 56, somewhere along there. I think we came home in 1954. Anyhow, when we came home, we drove that Buick, that 49 Buick. So we decided to go home. Now I'm going to tell you what happened. So Flossie and her husband, before they passed away, as they got older, after we came home and was settled, they bought them one of those trailers. There, that's what I was going to tell you. That's what it reminds me of every time I see that trailer. And I told James about it. I said, look at that camper. That's just like the one Aunt Flossie and her husband had when they made that trip all the way from California to visit down in Tennessee and Indiana and visit her sisters and her relatives and visit the graveyards. And that's what she did. And she visited us. We were friends finally. I had her phone number and I would check and talk to her ever so often. Fact is, I just recently took Aunt Flossie's phone number off of my phone. But I know she went long ago because all of them are. Grandma Lois is still here. I don't know how long the Lord's going to keep me here. But this morning I got up and I felt good and I said, I feel good. I feel good. There's a song that goes that way. And when you get up, it just makes you feel like singing sometimes. And I can't carry a tune, but I sing anyway. But now, I tell you what, Kentucky Life with Debbie and her brother, she has a YouTube channel, which I encourage her in. She can sing, and she sent me a CD of their music. And they could harmonize. She could sing. Of course, I don't know if she sings anymore, but she probably does, just like me. She probably busts out in song every so often when she feels good. She's going through some things, I know, but I enjoy watching her video. Y'all check her out. And don't forget 967 Andy and Slow Boy Whiteboard. Now, Slow Boy Whiteboard, I can't figure hers out. I tuned her in yesterday. And she's a sweet young woman. And she ain't no boy. She ain't no man. I thought she was when I found her the first time, because she watches my videos. And I'm sorry, sweetheart. Grandma don't catch on. I don't know how you do it. Like I say, you ought to come on down and tell me. I think she lives in Indiana somewhere. That would be nice. And then I hear from, I've got a good friend that I made friends with named Christopher. And Christopher is a young man, and I put his picture on. He sent me his picture, and I put it on YouTube, and his phone number was on it, which I didn't realize. And somebody commented and said, don't you know that's privacy laws, that you shouldn't do that? So I told Christopher about it. I got his phone number. It's there on the YouTube. And so I talked to him and told him about it, and he said, forget it. If they call me, they call me. He would probably talk to him. He's single. It might be a pretty woman. He don't know. He's going to live dangerously. Y'all could go back and find that, probably, girls, if you're interested. And he is nice looking. So anyhow, I tried calling him last night because he looks for my videos every day. Me and Granny Pat, you know, chit-chat with Granny Pat. And she's doing good. I got to meet her in person. Just me, Billie Jean. He did a FaceTime privately with me and Granny Pat and him on her birthday when she turned 89 a few days ago. And it was fun, and it was so nice meeting them in person like that, which you can make comments and talk, but this was more fun. But Billie Jean, you know, and him and Granny Pat did that, and people are saying, you know, it would be fun if the three of you could do it, and I'm going to tell, but I don't think I want to, because Granny Pat said it's too confusing, and I think it's too confusing, because when you get two women together, they don't know who to let talk first. Now, ain't that right? And I would be first, and Granny Pat's very outgoing, just like me, and so is Billie Jean. So, and you have to have a script. What are we going to talk about? The weather for 30 minutes? Nah, forget it. I'll just do my table talk. And that's what Granny do. She'll do her table talk, and Billie Jean cooks, and he makes the best recipes, especially with chicken. Now, James don't like chicken, but I cook it anyway sometimes because I really like chicken. Fact is, I bought one of those roast chickens at Myers the other day, and I warmed it up last night, and Ben's he don't want chicken. I cut up some of the white meat and made me a sandwich for supper, and I fried some. You know what I did? I did fried potatoes in a way I have never done them. But I thought there ought to be a faster way to make fried potatoes instead of putting them in a skillet and watching them and frying them and all that and having to stay right there with them. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bake me a couple of potatoes. But first, I leave the skin on, you wash them, and you cut them up, and this worked out really great, and they were delicious. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. You that watch me all the way through, because this is good. I'm not going to cook them in front of you, but I'm going to tell you how. You cut your potatoes up first, and you salt them. You can dry them off or not, it don't matter. But I dried mine off a little. And I salted them, and then I spread them out evenly on a container and put them in the microwave. 2 potatoes. I did it for about, well, I got a powerful microwave, and I did it for 6 minutes. And so when I got them out, they were done. And then you know what I did? I put me some oil in a skillet, and I put them potatoes in that oil and just browned them. And that didn't take but about 2 minutes or 3. And you know what? They turned out, I said, James, can you believe this? These French fries, they were like French fries, crispy. I said, these are good. So I did 2 potatoes, one for me and one for James, and it was absolutely perfect. He always has ketchup with his taters. I don't. I don't want no ketchup on mine. I like the taste of fried potatoes, French fries, and they ended up French fries, which is different from skillet fried potatoes. There's a different taste to it. Here it is, 22 minutes. But I was looking at Granny Pat the other day, and she can go 39 minutes just right like that. Not me. I don't think I ever have went 39 minutes. Maybe I should work on it. Not really. Now, a lot of these friends of mine out there say, well, one of them said, which was so sweet, she said, you can talk short, you can talk long, you can talk middle. I'm going to watch you whatever you do. Now, can you beat that with a stick? No, you cannot. So thank you, darling. You're sweet. And it was Tom that sent me those Granny Pat books that I have not got both of them all the way through read yet because I like my Westerns, so she told so many good stories in those books from Amazon, and I told her that the other day. She said, well, she told me personally, I noticed my sales have been picking up. I said, well, I talk about you pretty much, and I do advertise. She don't like to push herself on her books much, she told me, but why not? When you did a good job, she did a good job. Nothing, something to be proud of, and I think she is proud of it. My nose is running and itching. I hope nobody's coming. And I got to get my brisket. Oh, I know what else I was going to. Guess what? I love to cook in my Ninja Foodies. And I do my brisket it's a pressure cooker. There is a big recall, came out May 1st. They are recalling all these Ninja Foodies that have got certain numbers. So I looked at the numbers. My daughters have Ninja Foodies, and I do too. Fact is, I bought them Ninja Foodies like 3 or 4 years ago, each one, and had them mailed to them from Amazon. So anyhow, there is a site on the internet that you can check if yours is on that list that's recalled. So I went into my Ninja Foodie here, and I have one here and one at James's house because I air fry a lot with them. Really, more than I do like pressure cooking. I don't do that too much, but on soup beans I do, and on some things and on roast I do. because you can get a brisket done in 90 minutes. I got to look up my recipe. I don't remember it. I think it's got a little brown sugar in it. And that made it so good. The last one I made was delicious. So I looked it up, and I got the numbers, and sure enough, the one I'm going to cook on today is recalled. And what happens is, and several people, more than 100, have been burned and hurt because the lid will come off at the top. It's in the lid. Will come off if the pressure's not down. I mean, it's still got pressure and it explodes. For pity's sake. Well, I always make sure my pressure is down. I wait till it's plumb cool. I don't ever try to take it off before the pressure goes down, and I always double check. I just do. I am careful about a pressure cooker. So my lid will be replaced on the one here. So at James's this morning, because that's where we sleep at nights, I went and got my other one out, and I looked at it and took a picture of it. It's not on the recall list. I bought it later, and the lid on it's all right. And what they're doing is you can call them or go on the internet and put in for it, put your numbers in and everything, and they will send you a new lid that will not open when there's pressure on it. Well, I've never tried to open one with pressure on it. See, that's really stupid to start with, to try to open it when you still got pressure on it. You got to wait till it says 000 and it's done and keeping warm. And if it's keeping warm, it's got a thing on it that says keeping warm. You know what? But still, I knock it just to make sure. The top little thing, you can tell, and it'll go psss, up to the sky as the steam comes out. So I'm going to cook with the one that you can't take the lid off of today, and I'm going to put in for me a new lid. But I don't need to get a new lid for the other one. I'm not going to worry about it today. Be anxious for nothing, and I'll be real careful. Don't y'all worry about Grandma. And I'm going to let it go all the way down before I take the lid off. Don't worry. Well, I'm going to shut up. It's been fun. Yesterday, Sunday, I just had a nice day, and I did call Christopher and let him know, because he watches me all the time, that I wasn't doing any Sunday. He is so faithful and such a good Christian man, young man, and I appreciate him watching my videos. I appreciate all of y'all watching my videos. Bless you, children. You know, you're all children to me now. I'm 91, gonna be 92 in September, and I feel good. I do feel good, and I thank the Lord for my health and all of y'all. May the Lord bless and keep you safe and go before you and make those crooked places straight. And I got to Google what I can do to get heat back in this Honda 2003. Now, I think some of my friends are expert on old cars. And what was so funny was I couldn't remember what that car was that we had that I didn't have, that would run like crazy. My 74 Bonneville Pontiac. I think that's right. It was a beautiful car, and it would run. That's the only one I ever got a ticket in. It would haul a lot of trays of donuts, and I was delivering donuts to E-Town, that's Elizabethtown, Kentucky, early one Sunday morning. And he got me. So that's the only ticket I ever got in my life. And I was young, and I never tried to talk him out of it because I was guilty of sin. I was going too fast. Expressway. So, don't do that. I am shutting up now. God bless you. Bye-bye.